They say aging is natural, that forgetting things is part of the process, that names, dates, words, they just start to slip away. But what if that's not the whole story? What if you could wake up after 70 and still feel mentally clear? What if your brain could stay active, focused, and even get better with time? That's not wishful thinking. That's science. Today we know that mental decline isn't inevitable. Yes, your brain changes as you age, but with the right habits, it can remain sharp, flexible, and deeply alive. Let's explore 6 daily activities that support mental clarity after 70, simple things you can do each day, without expensive tools or complicated programs. They don't require apps or machines, just your time, attention, and a little bit of care. Let's start with one of the most underestimated, yet most powerful habits of all. It sounds simple. Take a few minutes each morning to remember your yesterday. But this one habit, done daily, has a powerful effect on the aging brain. Here's how to do it. Before reading the news or turning on the TV, sit down with a notebook or simply with your thoughts. Ask yourself, what time did I wake up yesterday? What did I eat? Who did I speak with? What emotions did I feel? What did I notice during the day? You're not just remembering facts, you're replaying experiences. This kind of mental activity activates deep parts of the brain, especially the hippocampus, the area linked to memory, navigation, and learning. You don't need to be perfect. You don't even need to remember everything. What matters is the process of trying. Neurologists call this episodic recall, and it's one of the best ways to keep memory systems active and healthy. It's been shown to improve verbal fluency, concentration, and even mood, especially in seniors over 70. When you do this regularly, you begin to notice more during the day because your brain knows you'll be asked to remember. It starts paying closer attention, and that's exactly the point. Many older adults describe it like this. For the first time in years, I feel like I own my memories again. That's the power of this habit. It doesn't require technology. It doesn't cost a thing. And the more often you do it, the more you'll notice small moments returning, ones you thought were forgotten. Some write their recall in short paragraphs. Others list bullet points. Some just reflect in silence while sipping tea. And with time, this becomes more than a memory exercise. It becomes a ritual, a way to start each day with presence. If you live with a partner or close friend, try doing the morning recall together. Take turns sharing what you remember from the day before. You'll be surprised how much your brain retains, and how often you help each other fill in the blanks. This habit doesn't just improve memory. It builds presence. It teaches your brain to slow down, to notice, to record. Because memory is not only about the past, it's how we stay rooted in the present. And staying rooted is the first step towards staying sharp. Many older adults say this habit, recalling their previous day each morning, has become a quiet source of strength. It's not always easy. Some days, the memory feels cloudy. Some moments stay out of reach. But here's what matters: showing up anyway, trying, reflecting, gently challenging the brain to work, even when it resists. This consistency creates powerful change. In fact, a recent long-term study followed a group of seniors aged 70 to 85. Those who practiced daily memory recall showed not only better short-term memory but also improved sleep, emotional regulation, and decision-making. Why? Because the brain started paying more attention during the day, knowing it would be asked to remember tomorrow. And when the brain pays attention, it grows. There are endless ways to do this. Some people keep a special notebook just for morning memory work. Others use voice memos or talk through their recall while making breakfast. A few even combine it with light stretching, moving the body while gently jogging the mind. No matter how you do it, this simple 10-minute habit helps you start your day not in a fog, but in clarity. It says to your brain, you are still needed. You are still sharp. And over time, your brain responds to that invitation with energy. Now, let's move to the second habit, one that combines mental focus with physical motion. Walking is already a well-known health practice. It supports heart health, circulation, balance, and joint flexibility. But when done with intentional mental focus, it also becomes a tool for mental sharpness. Not all walking is equal. There's a big difference between walking aimlessly and walking with your mind engaged. We call this purposeful walking. Before you step outside, choose a thought, a question, or a memory to explore. Some examples. What did my childhood kitchen smell like? What were 3 things that made me proud last year? What advice would I give my 30-year-old self? What would I plant if I started a garden today? As you walk, let your mind wander through that thought. Don't force answers. Just explore. This practice turns a regular stroll into a cognitive workout. Neurologists now call this combination of movement and thought cognitive walking, and it's been shown to increase blood flow to the brain, enhance memory recall, boost emotional stability, sharpen decision-making, decrease anxiety. How? When we walk, our brain is slightly more relaxed, and that relaxed state is often the best condition for reflection. Thoughts feel less pressured. Memories rise naturally. And because the body is moving, the brain releases a small but steady stream of endorphins, natural mood enhancers. This improves not only how you think, but how you feel about your thoughts. It's especially powerful for seniors because it improves the mind-body connection, which tends to weaken with age. Try this simple routine. Take a 15-minute walk each day. Before stepping outside, choose one question or topic. During the walk, explore it gently in your mind. When you return home, write down one sentence, just one, about what you reflected on. You'll be surprised how quickly this becomes a favorite part of your day. Not only does it calm the mind, but it also gives you a feeling of forward movement, both physically and mentally. Some days, the questions might lead to deep memories. Other days, they might just help you breathe more deeply. Both outcomes are valuable. What matters most is that you move with intention and invite your mind to come along. There's something magical about rhythm. Even before we learn to speak, we respond to it, the heartbeat of our mother, the sway of a lullaby. And as we grow older, rhythm doesn't leave us. It's just that we often forget to invite it back in. But the brain? It never forgets. Especially in aging adults, music and rhythm awaken brain areas that no other activity can reach. Neurologists call this whole brain activation. When you engage with rhythm, even in the simplest way, you light up your memory centers, motor skills, emotional processing, language pathways, and even creativity. And you don't need talent. You don't need lessons. You just need willingness. Here's the beauty of this habit. You don't have to sit down for hours or master an instrument. You can. Clap along to music on the radio. Tap rhythms on a table or with a utensil. Hum or sing along to familiar songs. Play a simple instrument like a shaker, tambourine, or even harmonica. Every time you engage with music actively, not just passively listening, you strengthen your brain's timing system. This helps with focus, speech, memory, and even walking stability. One study from a cognitive aging center showed that seniors who spent just 15 minutes a day engaging with rhythm showed faster response times, better emotional balance, and more confidence in speech. It's not about performing. It's about feeling. When you connect with music, you're reactivating memories. Ever notice how a song from your teens can pull back a whole scene from the past, a street, a face, an emotion? That's the brain at work, linking sound to memory, mood, and time. And rhythm is even more powerful. Tapping along with a beat improves timing in the brain, which helps with everyday tasks like speaking clearly, following conversations, and reacting to new situations. You don't even need equipment. Your lap, your hands, your voice, they're enough. Try this. Choose one song you love. Close your eyes. Hum it. Tap to it. Let your body join in. It may feel silly at first, but what you're doing is training your brain to synchronize, to flow, to remember joy. Some people start rhythm routines while making breakfast, gently tapping the counter with a spoon in time with music. Others use rhythm breaks during the afternoon slump, 10 minutes of soft clapping or drumming with fingers. And some take it further, joining community music groups, even if just to shake a tambourine and share smiles. You don't need coordination. You don't need to sound good. You just need to participate. Because when you let rhythm in, you're letting your brain breathe. You're inviting movement, memory, and presence back into your life. And the brain loves that invitation. Sometimes, what the brain needs most isn't more stimulation, it's better focus. In a world full of distractions, phone calls, news headlines, noise from the street, it becomes harder to stay centered. The mind jumps from one thought to another. It becomes noisy inside, even when it's quiet outside. That's why one of the most effective daily habits for mental sharpness is also one of the most calming. It's called guided listening, and it can be life-changing. Unlike music, which often stirs emotion or memory, guided listening invites the mind to rest and gently focus. It usually involves listening to a calm voice that walks you through a scenario, a body scan, a breathing pattern, or a simple mental image. Examples of guided sessions. Imagine walking through a peaceful garden. Focus on your breath as it moves in and out. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the chair. This kind of listening does two powerful things. It trains attention, your ability to stay with one idea. It relaxes the nervous system, lowering stress, blood pressure, and even heart rate. And the best part? You don't need to do anything. You just listen. This isn't meditation in the traditional sense. You don't need to sit on the floor, chant anything, or clear your mind. Instead, guided listening gives your mind something gentle and helpful to hold on to, a voice, a rhythm, a scene. Cognitive therapists often recommend it to older adults who feel overwhelmed, forgetful, or anxious. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can improve. Short-term memory, focus and processing speed, quality of sleep, overall sense of calm. Many seniors report feeling more present, less scattered, and even more emotionally balanced after only a week of listening sessions. You don't need special equipment, apps, or instructions. Sometimes, the most powerful support for your brain is something incredibly simple. A quiet voice, a clear intention, and a few minutes of stillness. When you listen with focus, even to something as gentle as a guided visualization or a calm spoken word, your mind begins to settle. The chaos fades. The fog lifts. You're not distracting yourself. You're directing yourself, gently, but with purpose. And over time, this small daily act helps restore your brain's natural rhythm. It becomes easier to think, to remember, to feel steady inside. Because attention, like a muscle, strengthens with use. And guided listening is one of the kindest ways to train it. Some of the best things for your brain don't come from screens or books. They come from your hands. There's something uniquely powerful about doing things manually. Cooking, sewing, carving, planting. These aren't just hobbies. They're mental workouts hidden inside calming, enjoyable routines. When your hands are busy and your attention is steady, your brain gets deeply involved. It has to plan, move, adjust, feel, and think all at once. That's why our fifth daily habit is this: painting a flower, rolling out dough, tending a small plant, fixing a button, writing a letter by hand. These aren't just crafts. They're forms of sensorimotor therapy, combining movement with mental precision. Studies in cognitive aging show that manual hobbies activate multiple brain regions at once. Motor cortex, frontal lobe, visual spatial areas, emotional centers. What's more, people who regularly engage in tactile, hands-on tasks tend to show slower decline in memory, better fine motor control, and higher mood stability. And you don't have to create masterpieces. What matters is not the result, but the process. The act of folding, planting, stirring, or shaping gives your mind a rhythm to follow. It pulls you out of worry and into presence. One of the hidden gifts of manual hobbies is how they teach patience. Unlike phones or television, they don't offer quick rewards. You have to stay with them. Feel the material. Adjust. Retry. And in that space, your brain practices attention span, frustration tolerance, and memory for sequence, all of which protect against cognitive decline. Manual work also connects the past with the present. It reminds us of skills we once knew or tasks our parents and grandparents did. It's a kind of quiet heritage alive in our fingertips. If you don't currently have a hobby, that's okay. Start small. Mend a tear. Slice vegetables slowly. Fold towels with full attention. Water a plant with care. These aren't chores, they're invitations for your brain to wake up. So often, we look for high-tech solutions to keep our minds sharp. But sometimes, all we need is to work with what's already in front of us, our hands, our senses, and our willingness to focus. Because in every stitch, every turn of the wrist, every slow and thoughtful gesture, the brain is learning. and remembering. There's one habit that doesn't involve movement or quiet, but instead, engagement. Habit number 6 is simple, but incredibly powerful. Learning something new. Not through textbooks, not through pressure, but through curiosity, through conversation, questions, new experiences. Our brains are designed to adapt, to reshape, and to grow, even in later life. And nothing stimulates that growth more than stepping into the unfamiliar. It can be a new recipe, a story from someone else's childhood, a documentary you've never seen before, a new card game, a different walking route, a topic you never thought to ask about. Every time you take in something new, your brain creates new pathways. And every time you share or reflect on it with someone else, those pathways get reinforced. That's the beauty of learning with others, even through simple talk. You don't need to take a formal class, but that's a great option too. You can learn by asking your grandchild how something works, watching how someone else kneads dough, listening carefully to a story you've heard before, but this time noticing something new. The goal isn't to master. It's to explore, to stay mentally open, to remind your brain that the world still has things it hasn't seen. This kind of mental flexibility helps protect against decline, even more than memory games or digital puzzles. Because when you expose your brain to the new, you invite it to keep changing. Some of the sharpest minds in old age aren't those who memorize facts. They're the ones who stay interested, who ask questions, who are willing to say, "I don't know, let's find out." And they don't always do it alone. They listen to others. They tell stories. They stay part of conversations. That social element, thinking aloud, responding, being heard, is more than just pleasant. It's vital. Shared thinking keeps the brain alert, flexible, responsive. It strengthens language, memory, reasoning, and it connects you to something bigger than yourself. So now we've walked through all 6 daily habits. You don't need to do them all at once. But every one of them is a doorway to clarity, confidence, and presence. 1. Morning recall. 2. Walking with purpose. 3. Engaging with rhythm. 4. Guided listening. 5. Manual hobbies. 6. Learning and social thinking. None of them require perfection. They just require attention and a little bit of intention. Start with 1. Repeat it. Let it become familiar. Then add another. Your brain is still listening, still growing, still ready to be challenged and cared for. And in choosing to care for it, even in small ways, you remind yourself that your mind still matters, because it truly, deeply does.